back to work. It's pretty late. 2 a.m. Time to continue with this tequila game and trying to make it less fiddly. I like my original idea, like I've said before, but I don't like the fiddliness of it. Um, I like this thing where I made these things not as wide, so let me see if I can play with that. Poured myself a glass of wine. Let's get this shit on the road. Alright. I like the size it was, so this is the size I like. I don't like that that's an outline, so I gotta redo that again. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Listening to a little bit of music, which you guys can't hear. So again, if I start bobbing my head or whatever, I'm not having a conniption. I am listening to music. I promise it's real. I'm actually listening to it. I shouldn't listen to it on YouTube. I am. That means I've got Commercial City coming my way. Alright. That's the sixes. There's the fives. There's the the fours. I got a little glass of wine, so I'll probably drink some of that. Maybe that'll give me the energies. I got these really big lips, and so my bottom lip is greasy because it's big, I guess. I assume that's what it is. I got a greasy bottom lip, so by the end of the night, you'll see on that glass, it's going to be full of, like, it looks like I was wearing lipstick or something. It's been a problem I've always dealt with. Alright. Let's save this junk. Oops. We don't want to do that. We want to do that. We want to go ahead and save it on the flash drive. And then we're going to create outlines. And then we're going to start saving. This is less fiddly. I wanted to do a version where I could write on the card like roll and write style, but figuring out the roll and write stuff on freaking TTS is a pain in the ass. Like, why can't they just make it where I can change the width? Maybe I can. Let me check that out, but I don't think I can. The width of the marker. It has like one universal width. So if you, like, my problem is I'm importing one of my own JPEGs. I play on the table really big. Like I guess the table should be smaller, but I go ahead and I make I put the stuff on the table. I make it really huge, and in doing that, that means like all my images and everything are enlarged. So my player mats are all enlarged, and I'm putting them on there, and I want to use a marker on them because they're enlarged. I guess think about it this way. I'm writing a marker just across the table. If I were to get that piece of table and enlarge it with this marker across it, it would make the marker wider. So that's kind of the way it works. Like, I mark on this player mat, but since the player mat was enlarged and you can't change the width of the marker paints on that as if it were a piece of the thing that was been enlarged, so it's going to be enlarged, and I'll show you an example of that here in a moment. I'm not just crazy, and it just seems like something that should work. Like why make these hoops that I've got to jump through when you could just make it where the width of the marker is different? It just changes. You can, it's dynamic, so I could change to a different size. I bet that's how game developers think whenever you bring them something. Like, what I'm telling you is obviously better. Change to what I said. I said this before. I did that to Ryan Courtney. Not like I did a play test, played his game, and suggested changes. And I still believe in the changes that I asked him to make. He didn't. That's not the feedback he was looking for. Even though it was solid feedback, it wasn't what he needed. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Let's do this. All right, so sixes. These are sixes. Custom. Changing the sixes to these thin sixes, which are, is it this one? That one too. That one. Okay, that's the front side. And here's the back side. Update. So some sixes, I think the sixes changed. I hope. Like there looks like a difference between those two sixes maybe. There should be a difference between the five, this five and this six. Or did it make them bigger? Oh, it made it bigger. That's why it doesn't look, okay, cool. That one's been changed. We'll do this one, get it changed. Need a five. So this is fine. If somebody just like been following me on this stuff and watching the progress of the games and stuff, they're gonna think there's a whole lot of there's very little gameplay to designing. It's just all this mental baggage that I'm carrying from game to game. That's what it looks like anyway. Son of a bitch. Alright, so here's that. Let's do the 4. Me and Sarah had a discussion about the word yokel earlier. I mean, it was a small discussion because I was thinking about calling the cops yokel cops, and she had mentioned, is it an American thing, but like from the South? And I wonder how universal it is because, like, basically America's the world. Like, you guys that are not Americans, you've seen a lot of American films, so you identify a lot with our stuff. So why wouldn't that be more universal? I mean, even though you know that it's not something that's said everywhere, you know that it's a thing. So anyway, I rewatched Aeon Flux today. Now, I was a huge fan of the cartoon. I love the fucking cartoon. When Aeon Flux the movie came out, I really fucking hated it. I was like, how could y'all fuck this up so bad? And I think some of it has to do with the fact that the movie was made at the wrong time period. Like, if the movie was made today, it'd be a much better movie because of CGI and shit. It's come so far. But then also, the point of me bringing this up is Aeon Flux, the actual story wasn't as bad as I remember it. And the first 40 minutes or so of the movie was basically several of the episodes sewn together to make the beginning of the movie. So it's almost recreated scene by scene. And the interesting thing is that it tied it together in a story. So I was so devastated by watching it the original time, that it wasn't like the cartoon, that I didn't realize that the story wasn't half bad. I mean, it's not a great story, but it's not bad. It's better than a lot of other stories. It's not that bad. And it's taken me, I don't know when it was done, maybe almost 20 years to figure this out. What? To say it's a decent movie? Decent might be pushing it. It's not as bad as I remember it. That's accurate. It is worth watching a second time. I wonder if somebody did it, how much they would change, and like how much better it would be, or would it be better? Because the crazy thing about it is, they even got the dialogue right. Like, there's this weird way that the Aeon Flux cartoon did dialogue. It was really, really strange. It was supposed to be like spy, like it reminds me of like Russian spy kind of thing, and it's very direct, but it's repetitive, but in a really weird way. I don't know. The dialogue's so weird, and to watch people do the dialogue is even stranger, because it's not meant for live action. It's meant for cartoons. It's somewhere between like old school villains in cartoons that used to say, like, that's the thing that I used to hate about villains in cartoons, is that they always told the good guys what they were gonna do, and that's how the audience was in on it. Like, that's how we figured out their plan. But it also is like the part that's easy to be driven crazy about Cobra Commander or any of them, because they just told you what they were gonna do. Like, why are you telling them what you're gonna do? But they use it as a device to make it easier to tell the audience, okay, so here's what the bad guys are trying to do. You basically have 22 minutes or 21 minutes to make a cartoon, and in that cartoon, all this stuff's supposed to happen. Character development, all this other crazy shit. So I'm sure it's just better to explain in a very easy way. Okay, so here's what the bad guys want to do. The good guys are going to foil them, because that's what always happens. So there's no point in building this story. Even though they're kids, they get it. He used to drive me nuts. Not that the characters in the cartoons were real, but that why would they write it like this? Like, can't they come up with a better way to do it in 30 minutes and 22 minutes, where the bad guys have a plan, you discover what the plan is, but not every little detail of the plan. You know that, oh, they're gonna blow up the earth or some shit, and it's gonna. But they tell you in passing, not the, oh, we captured a good guy, and then the bad guy starts explaining to the good guy what he's gonna do, and then it doesn't happen. That's like every G.I. Joe fucking cartoon there ever was. This is a good song. I wish I could hear it. Too bad. So this is, let's say this is like that. What does it look like? This is a 3. That's what it would look like. I probably need to do these just like those, unfortunately. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Not having spasms, I'm listening to music. So we're going to go here, we're going to go 7. And here we will go that. We'll do this one red. I was listening to this podcast about Nuestra Familia, the gang from L.A. or California. I don't know if it's L.A., but definitely California. And how these guys were locked up, and they would teach themselves a ancient language that the Mayans knew or some shit, or the Aztecs knew. I was like, God damn. I mean, all you have is time, but still. They would speak in this language so that the guards wouldn't know. Yeah, I got crazy there. Here's the thing that I was thinking about playtesting also. Like, has there ever been a moment where somebody went to go playtest and the people that were playtesting didn't have anything to say? Like, are you almost inclined to have to say something? Or is it absurd to think that you would ever not say something? Let's see, save. We'll go 055. I don't know why I did 55, but I did. So by the very nature of doing a playtest, you are looking at people having to to give an opinion, constructive criticism. I mean, that's what you're there for. But it's conducive for designers to want to use that space to improve their craft, maybe. Or maybe you're just always looking to flex your design muscles. I know I'm guilty of that. Not like showing off, but like I like to design. And I don't think I am a commercially viable designer. I don't think I'm a designer that can make a hit. But I can make something creative and different and new. Maybe everybody can. And I just hold a lot of value in that. And I think that maybe I put too much value in that. Thinking it's unique and everybody else can do it. They just choose not to. They decide to do stuff that's more commercially viable. So what if someone who fancies himself a designer playtests your game and then they come back to you with the not a playtester. I guess what if a designer comes to you and they could either, I mean, they have the full skill set. They have the skill set of designing something completely new and fresh, and they also have the skill set that allows them to make a hit game. Which one are they going to hit the table with? And I would assume that if you know how to make a hit, what's the point in making games that are not hits? Well, if you want to have like creative integrity, I guess. But if you can do both, and let's say you want to flex on some people, I wonder if that's 6 and 5. Let's do 4 here. I wonder if you would. Would you just give up that skill? If you had the skill to make, maybe most people do. Maybe most people have the skill to make both a hit or something that's difficult to understand. Let's say the difficult thing to understand is really easy to make. That would be interesting. That would blow my fucking mind. I assume that it's hard to do. But it might not be. Yeah, I got in the weeds there a little bit. A little bit. I don't know if I did the ones. I hope I did. And I hope that's it right there. I don't think it is. No, it's not. There it is. Maybe? Let's assume it is. You know, I've been craving to play Loop Hero lately. Such a good little game. It's a shame that I don't play anymore. Oh shit, we need a 7. Let's make a 7. There is a 7. Hmm. Let me go back here. I think the 7. Oh, that's a card. We'll do this thing. I think that's the 7. 3, 6, 7. Yeah. I watched a movie called Norseman last night. So good. It was interesting because it was interesting because it was very surreal. It felt like a movie sort of about the strangeness of Norse mythology. It was interesting. It felt like an A4 studio kind of film because the way they dealt with the religion. Let's see how this looks over here. One, two. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I thought that was good. No, it's got to be that. Okay, so that's 6. Looks like it needs to be 1 bigger. Okay. Get to 4. There's the 4. Here's the 3. Here's the 2. Here's the 1. And then the 5. Looks good to me. Got a bad case of yawning. I think it was 7 down here. 1 here and a 3 here. I think that's what we're looking at. Yep. Okay, I like that. So the 5, let's say the 5 goes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's got to be smaller. That's about right there. Maybe 1 bigger. I'm going to try to make this one smaller. It looks like right on point. I could live with that. This one needs to be smaller. Okay, the 3. That's not too bad. I'm starting to feel pretty fatigued. Awesome. Let's go ahead and delete these. We'll copy the 1, 1, 2, do. Four. Five. And then 6. All right. So I'm at that stage. Let me see. How tired am I? Mentally, I'm pretty exhausted. I think I solved the fiddly problem, sort of. We're going to say it's solved. Okay, so if this is that, and let's say we know we're getting one of each for the first round. And a gray. Then I've got to decide sizes. I don't have to decide it yet, though. I know that all these colors can be a 5 or bigger, so I need 5s. I could do that. Okay, and then like that. Let's say that one's gray. All right, that's not too bad. I think it'll work as far as the fiddliness goes. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. That's part 3. I'm going to get some sleep at some point and really bang this out tomorrow. I found myself getting really tired right there, so that's it. Let's figure out how to turn this damn thing off.